Greetings, gamers, and welcome to episode 16 of the O7 Iron podcast. So, in this podcast, we're going to be speaking about leagues that's been going on right now as we speak, and it seems to be very popular. So, I have a couple friends here with me to discuss our thoughts about leagues and a few hot topics. So, let's start off with some introductions. Who would like to go first? Cricket noises, I see.
I guess I'll take the reins here. I'm JT. Also go by Greyhelmed. My RSN in game on my Iron Man is JT. I'm a maxed Iron. Have maxed domain. I've done everything between Inferno speedrunning, CM no preps, max F skilling. Pretty much, I would consider myself I've done majority of things in the game. When I quit the main game to go to my Iron, it was kind of like a big learning experience. So taught me a lot. I think I have kind of a good wealth of knowledge on RuneScape as a whole.
Cool.
That's pretty much just me.
Nice. Next person?
I can go. Hi, I'm Trevor. In-game name is 7Rev on my Iron. I have significantly less experience than JT. I'm just a guy playing games, dude. I like raiding with the boys. I like skilling on my Iron Man. It's just a good time. Love RuneScape, love leagues.
Cool. All right, next person.
I'm Ethan. In-game name Spelling, spelled incorrectly. Max and Iron. Might max my main eventually. That was 2.2k before I started the Iron. Like a lot of PVM.
Cool. So we're very PVM oriented so far. All right, last person.
And then the most PVM oriented person, probably myself. Not to include you, LGR, but I am Sunny Sponge. I've been playing Iron for about almost 6 years now. I maxed a few years ago. I have a lot of PVM experience. I've been into speedrunning for a long time. I still like to do chill raids, hang out with friends. Most fun experience to do in this game is just have a good time with your friends and whatnot. So I've always enjoyed doing that. And, sometimes I can be kind of a nerd, but I'm also pretty bad at the game sometimes too. So, yeah, that's me.
I think we can all resonate with being bad sometimes.
I don't know how much GM Helms can claim that they're bad.
You'd be surprised.
Hey, listen, man, there's some moments, all right?
With services, all things are possible.
All right, no services, all right? To anybody listen to this, no services, okay? Don't do that. Do it yourself.
All right, so first topic. So we have here a list of topics that we kind of just like scraped up rather quickly. So hopefully we cover a good chunk of it. So the first one I want to discuss is the relics we've selected. Now, I guess we should maybe go by tiers, or should we just... Let's go by tiers. That's probably smarter. So the first one, I don't know if I don't have it on top of my head, so I'll need some help with this. But there was Trickster. There was the Gathering one. Was it
Endless Harvest?
Endless Harvest? What was the third one?
Production Prodigy.
There we go. So what did you guys pick and why?
I can go. I chose Production Prodigy because I thought that Trickster would mostly be good for thieving and agility, and I wanted to be able to PVM as much as I can and not have to bank stand or skill.
Okay, cool. Did everyone else pick Trickster?
Yeah,
I
think
Trickster enthusiast.
Yeah, me too.
I'm a big fan of Trickster. I really didn't want to have to do agility. I really, I don't know. I just didn't want to have to skill. So for me, I was like, you know what? I can AFK thieve. It'd be a good thing to do during my downtime. And yeah, I don't regret it at all. I think it's been really nice. I think it pairs better for like people in Canada, and I think the heroes and stuff are like really, really good. But I haven't regretted it much. It's nice for Tazars and the passive agility. I have 92 agility, and I've done, I think, 11 or 21 laps on rooftops.
Well,
I
you know
I
why
am
you have such
currently
high
running
bar.
laps.
I can yeah, I chose Production Prodigy. I have 59 agility, and almost all of that was through 3-tick barb fishing. So a little bit of a little bit of trickster envy, but
Yeah, I took Trickster as well. I saw the passive agility XP and the AFKable thieving, and I was like, I'm sold.
I'm gonna
Anything
be
that's more
honest.
AFK is awesome.
I really looked at like when they teased the trickster relic, and I'm like, that agility XP is gonna be dog shit, and all the people that are gonna pick trickster are still gonna need to run laps. And boy, was I wrong. They tuned it way higher than I thought they were going to.
That's a good point. Do you think it was
Definitely.
overtuned? I mean,
No. I
like,
think it's great.
okay, cool. I think it's great too. Like,
Yeah,
especially the XP scales, and like early on, it was worth doing a couple laps so that you can get like a bump in your agility XP and get more experience from Trickster.
some of the tasks too. It was like some of those rooftop early tasks weren't too bad to just knock out as well. So that kind of attributed to the early levels and whatnot. And I don't know, like how JT was saying, it's just I'd rather AFK chisel gems for hours than run laps or have to actually thieve. Like not thieving is so nice. Like
Yeah, it's
it's
so
actually
good.
crazy. Just like you just stand there and you click once, you open your pouches, and then you're just thieving for however long, and it's just really nice.
You have a few buddies who thieve like 25 or 30 blood shards, just
Yeah.
a couple hours.
That's so insane.
It's freaking cracked.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
was
very AFK.
my big like anti-production prodigy situation was like, man, I want something like if I have some downtime while I'm playing, like I want to be able to do my skilling and stuff, and I super regret it. I think production prodigy, like it's sick. It's so good. I think if like you're going for those total level milestones, it saves you so much time. Like you got to rush 99 crafting, you get instantaneous like 99 cooking. Um, there's like aspects to it that I really regret because I don't need agility levels. Like it doesn't really do me anything. So I guess the thieving is like the really only benefit, but I feel like it's really weak compared to production prodigy if you're going for like an all around like high total level account or 99s for the cape usage. Just
Okay.
personally.
Yeah, I chose Production Prodigy, and I really think that like being able to like smelt bars really quickly and do smithing really quickly without blast furnace is super nice. And especially paired with Banker's Note, um, being able to like run laps and do herb lore for agility is like super cozy. It's great.
Yeah, I was watching Sally do clue scrolls, and he was like cutting gems the whole time with Banker's Note, and I was like, that's kind of cool.
It definitely makes some for some cool metas.
Yeah, very versatile and multi-skilling as well.
Like as JT was saying with the cooking, I was getting 80 million cooking XP an hour with sharks. Like that's
What the
crazy.
hell? That's insane.
I was cooking like super low. I was doing like bass and swordfish that I got from Temperos and just doing all the stuff that I got, and I was getting like 35 mil plus just for like half an hour of work. And I'm like, that's insane.
Hmm. Cool. That's damn. I just got my second superior, dude. What the hell is happening? All right, let's. I guess we can move on to the second tier relic, which I was actually kind of curious about this one because I remember in my clan a lot of people were arguing between Fairy's Flight and the Globe one. I took the Fairy just because one of my friends, Heffy, said to take it, so I trust Heffy. But what do you guys? Did anyone take the other one, the Globe Trotter one?
No,
I did not know.
Oh, no, not me neither.
I don't think
I don't know
anyone
of
did.
anyone who did.
Yeah,
Hama did.
I know some people did,
yeah, me too.
and
I know a
they
few
enjoy it.
people.
But it's like the thing that I think too that was kind of cool with uh Fairy is that you don't realize that when they did it the last go around, that some people might have like the thought process of like, okay, that was like really weak. But in addition, because last time it was like, okay, you either pick Fairy or the recall, but this time you get recall as well. and then you have access to like the additional, like the tool leprechauns is probably one of the most like crack thing about the fairy ring
It is broken.
teleport. There's so many different places that you can go to just through the leprechaun, not including the fairy rings and the spirit trees as well. Like just the leprechauns itself is amazing.
Yeah, it's wild how versatile that is.
A lot of Zaya teleports that are really nice.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know Logzea. How, like, which ones are really good?
It has
the
like
vinery. The vinery has
Vinery.
like the closest teleport to a bank.
Yeah, it's like a budget crafting cape, like really early.
Yeah.
it has like 3 in Hosidius. It has the farming guild. It's just very convenient to get around Zaya before you have the memoirs.
I will say though, I think of all of the relics across all of the tiers, like tier 2 is the most innocuous. Like whether you pick Fairy's Flight or Globetrotter, both of them are going to be really solid and almost identical. Just like the way that you bank and move around is slightly different. And the reason that I chose Fairy's Flight is just because thinking in terms of tool leprechauns rather than normal teleports is just slightly more interesting and sounded like fun.
Yeah,
definitely
something you can
interesting.
experience again.
Exactly. Yeah.
I feel also like the globe one, like late game, it's not going to be as useful as opposed to early game where it's going to be pretty good. So I feel
That
like it
was another-
scales badly.
You think so?
I think so. I feel like once you get like higher level, you get all the teleports you need for everywhere else. So they pair well with the Fairy's Flight.
That's fair.
I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah.
That was definitely part of my thought process going into it. Is I was like, I might have a house or even just the teleports later on, and a Fairy's Flight gets me something unique that a Globetrotter I might find replacements for.
Okay, cool. Let's move on to the next tier, which is a topic on its own. So for tier 3, so let's just mention who picked Banker's Note and who picked Fire Sale.
Fire sale.
I went
Fire
Fire
Sale?
Sale. Okay.
Yeah, I think the only person who picked Banker's Note here was Trevor.
I went Banker's
Oh.
Note, and
All
I
right, Trevor, defend your point. It's all on you. We're gonna be
Banker's
bashing
Note.
it.
Banker's Note is absolutely goated. And oh my god, it's so nice. Skilling while running laps if you didn't pick Trickster is great. Infinite food is great for when I was running around or like even right now. I'm in game at Wintertodd right now, and I have 900 noted swordfish in my inventory that I'm just pulling out 5 at a time when I need food. Like it's just so convenient. I think Fire Sale is absolutely goated and lets you skip a lot of the early game, but I was planning on maxing this account and taking it really far in leagues. So I was thinking like macro game, like zoomed out. Like I think Fire Sale is like absolutely insane and the correct pick for the first 4 days, and then the rest of the league, Banker's Note's just gonna outshine.
I actually agree with you
Whoa.
on that. So you're right. In my opinion. Like when
I
I
mean-
got to tier 3, I was debating which one to pick. And the only reason why I picked Fire Sale because I told myself, "Oh, I'm good at PVM. I don't need food at my TOBs or whatever." And that's what I thought it would be useful for. But then I realized like it's not just PVM. Like literally any skilling you do, you can bring noted stuff with you. If you want to buy stuff from shops, you can note it right away. It's just very convenient, versatile. It's so many uses in skilling in PVM. You can rush for like early Inferno, and flex with that. So I regret my choice looking back, but it's too late now. So it is what it is.
So, I mean, sure. I think like that aspect of it is really solid. And I think this is like the argument of all time, right? This is the Banker's Note versus Fire Sale. Like it's like as tribalist as I've ever seen RuneScape. But my point here is that Banker's Note is really good, and I have to applaud the J mods that put the relic list together, and because the relic regret is real. Not that like Fire Sale is bad by any means. Like there's so many useful applications for Fire Sale. I got early points from things like Onyxes and stuff like that. But for me, like the infinite toggle is like really nice for things like I can just buy infinite ore, right? I don't have to worry about like getting ore from. I don't know. It might be a cope take, but I think it's very convenient. All my smithing levels are literally free because I can just buy infinite plate legs at Louis legs for Guardians or for Giants Foundry. There's positives and negatives to each one that I think that's balanced really well. Where all of the really nice things about Banker's Note, I can't say that anybody with Fire Cell is gonna be like, damn, that's like really good. But I think there's so many nice things with Fire Cell where people with Banker's Note are also in the same boat, especially early in the game as they're like walking along broke as balls with nothing.
Oh, that was me.
Yeah,
100%
so
that was me.
and I have like a 8 mil stack of chaos runes because why not? Like
Yeah, dude, I bought 1,500 Mystic Tops and I just started awking them, and I was like, why not? Like, I had like 50 mil cash.
I will say if you're planning on maxing, Banker's Note taking care of rune crafting completely is like
Yeah.
a relief off my shoulders.
the
That's definitely a
biggest
big
and most
plus.
broken thing I will say that I noticed with Banker's Note is that it is a 3-tick item. They have
Yeah.
essentially snuck in the gnome cube from this is the Sebe agenda
Not the
attacking us.
gnome cube.
It's just a one-click item that starts a 3-tick cycle. I think it is.
Does it actually start a 3-tick cycle though? That's kind of
Yes,
cool. I
it
didn't know
is
that.
so. It's like it is so nice. It is very nice. But
So I guess
I
Sebe
thought-
finally got his gnome cube after all this
at least
time.
for 8 weeks he did, yeah. But I don't even think he's gonna log in and play League. So
Dude, I tried using it like a gnome cube and like mining granite and like 3-tick fishing, and it just feels wrong. So I just went back to knife log and like herb tar, and I'm like, yeah, this is way nicer.
That's kind of cool. I didn't know that. That's kind of neat. It's a cool little tip for people. All right, so I guess we covered the Fire Sale Bankers Note. Like someone mentioned earlier, it's a very heated art debate. Both sides are good. Depends how you want to play on your playstyle. I also feel like if you're maybe more of a learner, Banker's Note is definitely the tech because you can bring bombs and for all your PVM encounters, which is nice. So now the tier 4 relic is basically just like what combat tier do you prefer? Is there much to talk about this? Or I'm actually just intrigued who went what style.
I went range.
Okay, I went melee.
Rage,
Range. Who
I
else?
went
Magid.
Okay.
Magician.
So we have 2
I went-
magic, 2 melee, 1 range? Or
I went range as well.
Okay, so 1 melee, 2 range. Nice.
Yeah, my brain was like, dude, this is gonna pair so well with some of the later things, and I don't know, my entire like plan got flipped upside down. So
How come? What? Why did you?
I just
Did you get brick walled? What happened?
no, I mean sorta, but I'm not talking about this right now.
He said he didn't want to bring it up.
Yeah, no.
Hey, you brought it up yourself.
No, I was talking about just because I was gonna like my entire intent of my range build was like, okay, I'm gonna get Asgarnia, I'm gonna get a ZCB, I'm gonna do some like next with the boys because it'd just be fun and you get a ton of drops. And I was like, I'm just going to take the spec relic. I like, what was it, weapon master or weapon specialist or whatever, and just spam my ZCB with rubies. Like that would just be hilarious. But I've since changed my mind. I think I'm going to go Soul Stealer because I think it just makes everything more comfortable and cozy.
Ah, yes.
Did you guys see the clip of this dude doing Z-back with a ZCB?
Yeah.
He specs 4 times, P-neck specs, P-neck spec, and just spams it.
Oh my god.
That was fucking crazy. He could have
gotta
done
see
so
that.
much faster too if he had like a diamond bolt switch or something, but he just rubied when it was like 100 health, so it was hitting nothings. But that was so cool to watch. It was
Yeah, I
in
know.
the
I know.
L7 art.
Wooks
I
has
can link
done
it here.
some. He's done some like interesting things. I saw somebody do like a 22-second Leviathan.
Jesus, dude.
That's cool.
Wait, at
I
22, how? Just
Spamming rubies and yeah, they were just ZCBing it.
Like you do like 5 ZCBs because it doesn't have that much health, so you have to do 5
Yeah, and then-
ZCBs and then
And then
Dragonstone.
switch to. I think it was. I would have to look. I know Wooks did it.
That's cool. Because
Yeah, I
that
don't
makes
know if he
PBs
switched to
like
Dragonstone
very
or
consistent
Diamonds.
too. because
Oh,
it's
yeah,
just
it was-
accuracy rolls instead of like number generator. That's cool.
I think it's undoubtedly just the highest DPS, right? Like there's nothing that can compete.
Yeah, the ZCB for sure. Assuming the monster has over like 450 health or whatever the
Or whatever it
threshold
is, yeah. I think that the most interesting part about this relic tier is how much it influences the zones that you pick, right? Like people talking about what relic they're gonna pick for tier 4 in like before leagues drop in the planning phase, it kind of already determined some of the zones that you were gonna take, right? Because who's gonna pick mage and then not pick desert? That feels really strange.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. You basically pick the raid associated to your style.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I do know like more casual players that don't do that though. Friends of mine are going melee and then just not picking Mauritania or not picking Asgarnia because they're like, I just don't want to do that region. Which I really think is the most important part about leagues is just enjoying it, right?
Yeah,
Nobody can tell
that's
you
a
how to
good
enjoy
point.
the game.
I agree.
No, there's definitely people that will try to.
I mean, they will. It
Let's
doesn't mean
not
they
ignore that fact because people like to gatekeep on this for some reason, and instead of like promoting people to have an enjoying time, they want to say, "Oh, like your relic is not good. Like this is you're gonna regret this." Blah blah blah. Whatever. Like nobody's trying to hear that in a temporary game mode, man. Just leave people alone. If they can learn from their choices, and if they don't like something, then it is what it is.
It is a
Can
temporary
always
game mode at
make
the
a
end
new
of the
account.
day. Like we're just having fun.
Yeah, like I think a lot of people have just been getting so worked up about a lot of this stuff. And I'm just like, man, it's an 8-week temporary game mode. I promise you, you should not be losing sleep over the certain relics and areas that you're picking.
No
lose
shot
sleep
people are
over
losing
your drop
sleep.
rate.
I promise, man. Like it'll be okay.
What do you
I'm
guys?
saying-
I just remembered. What do you guys think about day one with the clue relic bug? I
Oh,
literally just
no.
remembered about
Props to
that.
them. Genius. People always exploit something.
I mean, I wouldn't even say
Good on
genius.
them.
Like the dude literally just picked the relic and opened clues, and he's like, "What the fuck? It doesn't use my casket."
I'm indifferent. I think there's a part of me that thinks like the bans were warranted because I feel like after you open it, like I want to say after you do it like 25 times and you read the relic, you know that
Something's wrong.
okay,
Yeah.
something's wrong here. I definitely need to report this. And then you do 1,000 masters, like come on, man.
Bro, the guy
Um,
showed up in Bodhi's stream in full Anku. Do you know how crazy that is? Like,
Yeah.
as a clogger, I saw that and my mouth dropped, and everyone else in the chat didn't give a shit. Like, that's crazy lucky.
Yeah, there's a. I think I don't know. I'm indifferent. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised people abused it. I'm bummed the way Jagex handled the whole situation.
How do you think they should have handled it? Because at
I
the end of
just
the
don't
day,
think-
it was an
wait,
error,
what do
a
they
mistake on their
even
side.
do?
They
They-
temp
What do they
banned
even
people
do?
that did it over 50 times.
Yeah, we're 50. I don't know how many people did over 50. I know there was one guy with 1,000 who I guess was like the first one to unlock the relic and figured it out. And then Bodhi did like a couple masters and was like, "What the hell? This isn't normal," and he stopped.
Which is what a normal person would do, in my opinion. But
Yeah, for sure. I would have probably. I don't know, man. What I would have done in that situation. I might have spam clicked them, to be honest.
that's your inner clogger.
Yeah, it's my inner clogger just like going. I could get the first green log.
It's like the intrusive thoughts in your head.
Yeah. I would have spam clicked it actually. Look,
Those take over, it's game over.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I agree that he definitely knew that like it was a bug, but I feel like a temp ban for a temporary game mode is kind of wild. It's not like he was like doing any
I don't-
Rendy exploit stuff. He was
Exactly.
just flicking his casket.
I'm not calling it a bug, to be honest with you. That's not a bug. That's like if I kill this worm here and it just keeps giving me superiors. Like, it's not my fault I'm killing it. If I
But
was
he's banned,
using like
like-
some cheeky like interface stall and making it spawn always superiors, then yeah, that's a bug. But if it's just naturally occurring, then what the hell?
This I think that this is 100% Jagex's fault for like
Oh,
releasing it
100%.
in that state. So I think it's wild to temp ban this person.
Like I
Hard
agree,
agree.
they remove like all the collection log slots and all the points associated, which that's okay, that's reasonable. But the temp ban, I think that was a maybe they were trying to send a message. I don't know, but the way they
message of
send
what?
message is not consistent.
That their QA team for this clue relic didn't open a single casket.
I mean,
Like, that's
I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt that like they did their QA testing, but like there was something in the main game that was that affected it that was not in their test servers. I don't know. I'm just
I don't
gonna.
know, man. Maybe we
I
should
gave him shit in the
investigate their
past
QA
for this.
team. This is too much of a
That's it.
common occurrence. I feel like.
Oh yeah, it is. I once flamed them a couple months ago about QA team fucking up, and then eventually I stopped because there's no point. But I'm giving them benefit of the doubt. Surely
Wasn't there a
they
bug
they tried.
recently where
Good,
they like
honestly, good on you.
all charges for Iron Man and their items were just getting yeeted.
Yeah, I remember that one. I banked everything in my bank, and I said I'm not touching my scythe, my shad. I'm not touching nothing today.
I don't log in on update days anymore, man. It's too risky.
Well, the
That's what I'm saying, man.
update
Like,
for
you kind of have
leaks,
to expect it at
bugs.
this point, no?
Oh yeah, I always go to the office on update day. It's efficient.
Yeah, like when everybody was logging in, like the first day, during league, I'm like, I'm gonna just chill for a little bit and let it just see how it plays out.
Oh, okay. Actually,
Lo and
another question
behold,
for
you
you
know-
guys. How long did it take you to log in on day one? It took me 40 minutes.
I
That's what I'm
I
saying. I
logged
didn't even
in-
bother until like 4 or 5 hours after it came out.
I logged in like
I-
3 minutes into open and I was on instantly.
You have a
You're
Jagex
lucky.
account?
No.
Ah,
Okay,
that's
that-
why. I tried to log in. It said didn't work, and for the next 40 minutes, I clicked play now, and until eventually it worked.
Did you try the mobile workaround?
People told me about that, but I don't feel like playing on mobile, so
That's
unless I'm
fair.
like AFKing, so I didn't bother.
Had that like Dave Chappelle like gotcha bitch moment with Count Check. You know, Count Check really he was like the final decision, you know. How can you not have a Jagex account when they're giving you free XP lamps?
Well, that's what I find funny. Like they want you to make a Jagex account, but then in this example, having a Jagex account screwed you over. Now it's only 40 minutes, like whatever, who cares? But it's still not a good. It's not a good
It's
image.
still an
you know?
inconvenience at the end of the day.
Exactly.
And
When they're
There's-
promoting using their launcher.
Like if the opposite was happening, like imagine only people on Jagex account could log in. Dude, the uproar on Reddit for that would have been crazy, dude.
You're
Imagine
actually
they
so
just
right.
let it think about it. But that would have felt better.
Yeah. That's funny.
All right, so do we keep going up the tier? We did like 4 tangents. That's my bad. All right,
Yeah,
so
we're on
tier
tier
5.
5.
So Bloodthirsty, Infernal Gathering, and the Treasure Seeker that we briefly talked about. So what did everyone pick?
I chose Treasure Seeker.
Okay.
I figured that because you couldn't choose your Slayer task, and because there are so many tasks related to clues, that it would help me progress quicker.
Yeah, I also chose Treasure Seeker. You know, in my league's experience, clues have always been just super fast and really good points per hour, and that's the only reason I'm doing this leagues is for cosmetics and the Dragon Trophy. So, I'm pretty much there. I think Treasure Seeker is like the long con there. For me, I think it was the better points overall.
Okay, so we're 2 Treasure Seekers.
As the resident bloodthirsty player, I will die on my hill because I am understanding and knowledgeable that the other 2 are better for points and for maxing, but for the purpose of my goals for this, the Slayer one is very relevant in the fact that you can continue to get additional resources while trying for a mage specifically to get a heart. I'm trying to get as many superiors as I can and benefit from that. And by choosing that, I'm able to. The only downside is, yes, it is a lot lackluster in comparison to the last Trailblazer, where you could pick your task, which is completely broken. But I still think that it is very strong for what its use is. But I do think that the Clue Seeker, Treasure Seeker, whatever, is very good for points and proceeding on, like through like the relics and getting to new areas and whatnot.
You can tell I flamed him for this before.
Dude, honestly, bro, I'm in
you
the
can-
same boat. I picked Bloodthirsty
You can
too.
flame me for it, but like it's it's ultimately like my decision, you know. Like I know that it's a better overall one, but it's also still good for what I'm doing.
Bro,
So
if you scroll up in the channel, I was diehard on the Bloodthirsty Hill until it released, and I realized that you couldn't pick your Slayer task, and then I was just, they lost me, man.
Yeah,
I was so
that
excited
was
to
shit.
farm Zuck. I was like, this is gonna be sick. And then,
yeah, and
yeah, I don't
that's
know.
why it
I'm
was
just bummed.
so good in the first Trailblazer because of that. Like you could just literally
Yeah, it had a
teleport with
90% pick
recall.
rate.
Dude, you could just go. You could go to you could go to Duradel, get a task, recall, go back in, and just keep repeating. Like that's what I did when I was trying to get the Nibbler.
Yeah, so I got unlocked that relic, and I told myself because I'm a clogger, I'm not gonna pick the clue relic because if I get a mega rare in the clue, I'm gonna be really tilted. So I picked the Slayer relic, telling myself I'm gonna gain like a bunch of Slayer levels. It's gonna speed through Slayer, and then I got shafted on Slayer tasks. Kept getting dog shit tasks like Steel Dragons, Iron Dragons, Trolls. I got one Bloodveil task and got one Superior and 180 kills, and that tilted me pretty hard. So I regret my decision. I should have went with clues. But it is what it is.
I want the clue relic, but I'm also a mage build and want imbued heart. Uh, so I just decided that I'm just gonna get lucky and get the drop. With
You
with the
decided?
default chances. Yeah. I just decided I'm gonna get lucky. Because JT flamed me into not picking Bloodthirsty.
Yeah, I guess if you need a heart, that is actually a pretty good relic.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't need any supplies then. Like you just bring a heart with you everywhere. You don't have to worry about being potted up if you have it with you, and it just gives you the most reliable chance of getting it. So
All right, neat. Let's move on to the next one.
Wait. Nobody picked Infernal Gathering?
No, I think that's more
No.
for skillers. But apparently, it always maintains like you can three tick barbfish by AFKing with it.
Oh, really?
That's what I was watching. Hebox Young's video. He's going for 200 mil all, and
Oh,
he
okay.
unlocked it, and he was just barbfishing AFKing, and it was three ticking it. And I was like,
That's
what the hell?
crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah, your fishing is all 2 ticks faster.
That's wild.
Oh my god.
Like
I didn't know it was that
for
good.
skillers, that's pretty nutty relic. For us PVMers, that's kind of useless. Unless you want to go for a 99 or something.
I feel like mining the like and just getting insta bars is super nice as well.
Yeah, saves a lot of
But
time.
Especially if you don't have blast furnace. Going to the furnace with 4 adamant ore and an inventory of coal is not the best.
You got a
and
super
Banker's
easy.
Note helps a little bit, but yeah.
All right,
Yeah, I feel
cool.
like Banker's Note kind of killed Endless Harvest too.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it harvests a lot faster, but
All right, so let's move on to the next one. The tier 6 relic. So we have 3 choices here: Equilibrium, Farmer's Fortune, and Ruinous Powers. So I'm assuming most of you went Ruinous Powers, but I'm intrigued if anyone else did not.
I
Like
did not.
Cool. What did you pick?
I chose Farmer's Fortune. I'm doing range, and I figured I'd have rigor. Um, and I really don't like doing farm runs on my iron. I do them about once a month. Herblore was my last 99 because I didn't have enough herbs, and I wanted it to be all done right away.
Nice. Anyone else went
Yeah, I'm
Farmer's
in the
Fortune?
same boat. I was like, I'm playing a temporary game mode. Last thing I want to do when I log in, when I get home from work, is be like, hey man, you know this temporary game mode? I'm gonna go do a farm run real quick so I can do some next. I had no interest in that at all. Plus, you get really easy farming pet.
honestly, for me, because I'm interested in maxing, so I waffled very heavily between Equilibrium and Farmer's Fortune. I never really gave Ruinous Powers much thought, just because the other two were way more appealing to me. But I really wanted the tipping point for me was secondaries, right? Like getting Snapegrass or Limport roots for secondaries and then just farming those out uh seems so nice. It basically just solves Herblore.
Did you take Ruinous Powers, LGR?
No, I took Kandarin, so I had Piety, so I took the Farmer's Fortune as well, which honestly was
Okay.
really fun to do. Like
It is.
I thieved like for 2 hours. I thieved Master Farmers while at the gym, which is very cringe. I'm sorry if anyone dies a cringe. It's like between every set, I would like click on the Master Farmer.
I think 3 of us in here do that, brother.
Hey, I'm right there with you, brother.
Yeah, I'm a RuneScape at the gym potter for sure.
I did
Right next
that
to my
once,
Yeah,
notebook.
dude.
I do either Ammonite crabs, thieving, anything I could do at the gym that I don't want to do at home, I'm doing there.
It felt kind of nice though, like
That's how I live my life.
because it's so AFK. It's like literally like I would have time to do 2 sets, and then I would have to like look at my phone, bank all the seeds, click on the Master Farmer. So I did that for 2 hours. Got home from the gym and just started going to town on planting, and it was pretty satisfying. I was getting like 22 mil XP an hour planting limb roots, which I think it's bugged. I'm pretty sure it's bugged. Like that doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
Hey, I got super inconsistent XP drops with Limports. It was wild.
I think it's because limps gives you a static number, and then I think the multiplier of ×3 like just inflates it, or like maybe it stacks or something. Something's wrong with the code. I'm pretty sure because the XP drops I was getting like 40k XP drops, and for ×12 that makes no sense. Like in the main game, I would have gotten 3000 XP from a limp root. Doesn't feel right. You should only get like a couple hundred, but. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was a cool relic. I think it's a really clever idea, and I found it satisfying. But I don't have Zaya, so I'm assuming if you have Farming Guild unlocked, it must be even more cracked.
Bro, it's so insane. Infinite contracts.
Yeah, you just keep doing contract.
And Tithe Farm, both of those are really, really good for it.
Yeah.
Oh, because it
Yeah, we
insta grows on Tide Farm too.
Yeah.
Dude,
Oh.
one of Sonic's friends had 10,000, then he turned and he got like 2 bill farming XP an hour.
What the fuck? I know some guy in the CC did that too, Core, and he got 100 mil farming and then went straight to 99 herblore. On like day 3, he had 99 herblore. I was like, what
That's
the
so
fuck?
sick.
That's
That's pretty
crazy.
good.
Yeah,
But, yeah.
one thing that I was a little disappointed to see is that I know in the past there was there was a relic in a different league that saved herb secondaries, and that was
Mm.
so nice. It would have been nice to see something like that, because getting the herbs wasn't like a big contention for me, even if I didn't choose the Farmer's Fortune, because I was looking at like doing herbivore, getting it from like PVM content, but I was worried about like. Dude, I don't want to go kill Spidings. Fuck that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I wanted a way to get those faster and save those.
Yeah, I
I
think
feel
the farmers relic kind of saved that. You can plant limps and white berries, and it was
Exactly.
pretty good.
I don't have to worry about birds' nests as much, you know?
And did anyone go Ruinous Powers? Honestly, I think it's kind of cool that they added Ruinous Powers in the relics.
I did.
The only thing I dislike is that you don't need Rigor, Augury, or Piety to make it work, which I feel makes it really, really broken for range and mage builds that don't want to do Zaya. They can literally just skip Rigor and have or Augury even, and have a DPSing prayer bonus that's really, really strong.
So that is a part of my reasoning as well, is because one, I think it's just cool to try in the first place because you can't do that in the main game. So my thing is like, okay, if there's something that I'm not able to do on a normal day, if I just go and log into the main game, why would I not take that opportunity to do it in this temporary game mode? That's just my black and white version of way of like seeing this, because a lot of these prayers are very strong. Like I have Zaya, and I mean I even got Augury yesterday, but Vaporize is a much better prayer overall for a mage because I'm going mage, right? And so why would I not do what I can to like have the strongest mage build? Why would I not take that opportunity? Because all I'm looking to do in this is just PVM, not looking to like max or do anything else. I just want to, get a shadow down the line and just be very strong and just kill things fast. That's all I want to do. So that just aligned with like my goals. And in contrast to like farming, like the farming one, like I know the tier 7's next. Tier 7 with soul Soul Stealer completely rids the need to even have to do any farming. So, 'cause, like, you don't need almost next to no supplies with Soul Stealer while doing any form of bossing, I feel like. So,
That's the one that gives you health back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Health
that
and
one's
prayer.
pretty.
gives you
it's
health,
pretty buff.
health and prayer.
That one's pretty cracked. That's
Yes.
what I was gonna select for the next one. But the other ones look pretty cool. We can move on to tier 7 now if you guys want. I think tier 6 is quite cool. Ruinous Power and Farmer's Fortune are good choices.
I feel like Ruinous Powers just kind of got slotted in here. It doesn't feel like it makes sense compared to the other two, which are like skilling focused. But
That's a good point. They could have like split it up or switched it around. I guess they ran out of ideas, or maybe they just.
I
fit
don't
it
really
in
know
last
where
minute.
else it would go. I don't know where else it would go.
It has
I
to be.
know.
It has to
With
be
you.
up there. It can't be in the earlier tiers.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I say it feels strange, but then there's also people who I've talked to, like Sponge, for example, who's just like, why would I pick the other two? All I care about is killing boss. And I'm like, that's fair. That's like we're not playing the game the same way.
Yeah, it's a different playstyle.
Yeah. Which
So-
is why, like, I think Leagues is cool because you have the option to do that. Like when people are like asking about like what relic you should do, like you should be able to like decide like the type of relic that you want to do based on like what you want to do on this game mode, right? Like if you are wanting to be PVM centered and more oriented, then and you want to like try something new, then you know that just like fits in like perfectly. Like I just think like I'm not gonna. When else am I gonna use the Ruinous Prayers? Literally never. So
Unless.
Pause. Remind me
I
2
mean,
years.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they binned that idea, but you never know.
No,
with
they
them,
said
so-
they said they binned it, but they're willing to reevaluate in the future. That's how they worded it. Maybe
That
I'm
means no.
misremembering. Well, it just means that like if there's a boss, I don't know what reward to slap, they're gonna put that.
I think not requiring the prerequisites was really cringe. It was basically you just go do DT2 and now you have like this best in slot PVM spellbook. I did not like that at all.
I actually agree with you. I think it made it too broken. But at the same time, if they
Yeah.
didn't do that, it would have been too underwhelming for most people. Because you would have to go do Rigor or Piety. Especially
because,
Piety is like the
when they introduced it, like I know this is like a different topic, but that's kind of overwhelming. Like for a new quest, like to not only have 4 new bosses, all these new items, and on top of that, you have an entirely new prayer book. Like that's a lot to like take in for like one specific update.
Bro,
Like
the 4 bosses
they-
was enough to take in for me. Like that was
Yeah,
overwhelming.
dude.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like how the fact that they even like were considering like including that in it is just kind of bonkers. Like
Yeah, they were on crack when they designed those rewards for Desert Treasure 2.
yeah, like
yeah, there's
like
a lot.
you say just 4 bosses, but it's 4 bosses, 4 rings, 4 courts for the scepter.
4 pets, a full-on
pets,
axe, and
The
Virtus.
A new
Soul
mage
Reaper and
gear.
Verpet. Yeah, like so much, and then they're like, and a prayer book. You're like, stop.
And
What?
Awakened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
that's
and
true.
and Blorva.
Yeah, they were cooking
They-
something on that, but I think they
they
just
were
wanted to
in over
make
the
sure it was
head.
amazing. So, Ew.
It was a success for sure in my opinion, but off topic though. That's totally off topic. We're tangenting.
Yeah.
What's the next tier? 7.
Yeah,
Seven.
7. So tier 7 we have Berserk, Soul Stealer, and Weapon Master. So I
think
can
this
no
is-
longer talk here because I actually quit on tier 6, so I never got to tier 7.
I think this is the great divide. I think this was the hardest decision.
I
for-
agree.
And not to like go off on a tangent here myself, but there's so much fun that can be had here. Like berserking just sounds like it's a fun concept, but I feel like the novelty, as Trevor and I had discussed previously, I think the novelty would wear off really fast. Like this is really fun for like 3 hours, but okay, now I don't know. I do feel like I would get bored of it. Soul Stealer feels like the comfy like recline way to play, and then like Weapon Specialist just feels like this insane like I'm a range build, so for me, like ZCB sounds like so much fun, but also like Mage with Eldritch sounds like it would be like a lot of fun too. So who knows?
Yeah, you need a good spec weapon for Weapon Master to be really, really good. Like either a ZCB or, like you mentioned, Volatile, which would be fucking rough to grind.
Or if you want Wildy like Void Waker would be cool.
Oh yeah, that'd be sick. I don't know many people that went Wildy, which is unfortunate. Because I feel
Yeah,
like that has
it's
good potential, but like getting racked by people with 100% freeze rate, dude,
yeah.
no thanks, dude. TY for
And there's no
raids.
benefit. They don't get any items or anything. It's just
Just ragging. Yeah, but
fun.
PKers
Yeah.
are gonna do it anyways. It's content for
yeah.
them, so.
Yep.
But you're right. There's no reward.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at Berserker and I'm like, man, imagine a melee build where I go and get Darox, right? And then I'm just sitting at 1 HP, and then for tier 8 you choose the Retribution one, so when you die you do a bunch of damage too and you like get your life back. I'm like, it sounds like a really fun build and really novel, and you would do a lot of damage and see big numbers, but then like constantly babysitting your HP while you're doing content just doesn't sound fun, and I would rather just like feed up Recline with Soul Stealer. It sounds just so much more comfy
I
for the
agree with you on
longevity of
that
the
too.
game.
I think Berserker has good potential for like speed running and like trying to go
Yeah.
fast and maybe going for like a world's first completion and stuff like that. But it's just the Soul Stealer is just way too good to be not used. It's interesting how the scythe only applies on one hit though. Do you think they did that because they did some DPS calcs and they realized that the scythe would be too broken, or?
Probably.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, you're
So-
proccing it twice every time you hit.
Well,
Like
it's
if you
also
look at
I
the
think it's because
math
the
there,
scythe
right?
is all independent rolls, so it makes it like giga consistent in terms of your healing. So maybe that's why they did it that way. Still, I
Yeah, you
found
stack
it
that with
interesting
Blood
though.
Fury, and you're just like unkillable.
Yeah, that was my plan actually, to go for Scythe, Blood Fury, and Soul Stealer, and then try to do the harder mode tab, which rip.
Was that just like 25% increases? Because if so, it's kind of lame. But I understand the dev time issue.
I don't know what it was. I haven't seen it. Have people done it yet or not yet?
I haven't.
I haven't seen it. I haven't been trying to like spoil anything for myself, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me neither. I'm just waiting for someone to send me a clip from the CC. But I would assume it's just more health and faster attack speed. Because that feels like the easiest way to update it without actually sinking in a bunch of dev time.
No, you mentioned like 2-tick pog tanking would be hilarious to watch.
Yeah, I actually thought of a way to 2-tick pog tank. But like you have to lose a tick every well no, actually you can still do it. I was thinking of the 5-tick pog tank with a 2-tick weapon. You have to lose a tick every 2 hits. But the 2-tick pog tank would be like the walk tank that you do. Just walk under attack, and diagonal.
I opened up the like areas interface and clicked on Mauritania. The harder mode tab is everything does 25% more damage, everything has 25% more defense, and everything has 50% more hit points.
That's it. Same attack speed.
Yep.
Oh,
It feels boring.
so it's CMs.
Yeah, but even CM's got that applied to it. It's like CMs.
Yeah, but CMs from Chambers is literally that's what it was. It was just
Yeah,
more health, defense, and that's it.
more health, more damage. Yeah.
That's unfortunate. They could have changing the attack speeds would have been cool. Like maybe not Zarpus, that could have been kind of brutal. Like a 1-tick Zarpus poisoning
Yeah.
you. That would have been crazy. You'd have to rag the whole room.
I'm thinking a little bit more about tier 7, and like in comparison, the Trailblazer that we have now versus the Shattered Relics that we had before, where you could change your build depending on what you're doing. Like, oh hey, I'm doing production, let me switch to Production Master, or oh hey, I'm doing Gathering, let me switch to Gatherer. Having that versatility of being able to have your cake and eat it too was really, really nice. And I think in the later tiers of this league, I kind of feel like that would be nice. Like if everyone could turn on Ruinous Powers and try it for a little bit, or if you could turn on Berserker to try and get a speed time and then go back to being comfy. You know what I mean?
Rama had made an interesting remark about that, like the concept of prestiging. So the people who really want to like be
Ooh.
super cracked, like you just go through the tiers again, and then you can re-unlock them.
Damn, that's sick. That would be a huge
like-
time commitment too. You'd have to like do everything 3 times to get every tier or every relic.
Yeah, you would have to have like you'd have to what was it like 72,000 points, which is like approaching like the maximum for like all 3 areas. I think it's like I think your average like all 3 areas is like there's like 95k points.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I know a few people in like Oblivion. They had multiple alts, and they were doing like a different build for each alt, playing them at the same time. Which that's way too cracked for me. I'm gonna fuck that. But that's still really cool. Like imagine having 3 accounts: one melee, one range, one mage, and then you can just like bin the one you dislike, or that gives you
Yeah.
variety.
I kind of just liked in Shattered Relics that I didn't need 3 accounts, but I could still do that.
Yeah, I think you were
Um,
able to switch your relics on the spot, which is kind of
You
Yeah.
were.
Which was broken, and so, I don't know, something to think about is that because you can only make one choice and then you're locked in forever in Trailblazer, they kind of just made all the relics like giga OP and are like, yeah, if you pick one, you're gonna be happy no matter what, even if it's not this giga OP one, it's this other giga OP one, right? Like everything's just so strong. The Shattered Relics ones didn't feel like this insane, but you were never locked into anything.
I wonder if they had too many people quit or burn out when they chose the wrong relic last Shattered or last Trailblazer, or and they wanted it to be stronger. So even if they made the quote wrong choice, they would still play.
That's a good way to see it too.
They had a lot of remake Andys for Last Recall. That was that was like a big problem during the last Trailblazers. Is that like everybody who felt like they didn't have Last Recall felt like they trolled themselves because it was just way too good. It was almost a mandatory thing to have.
Yeah, recall was significantly better than the others. Like at least like it seems like in this one there's a lot more balance. Like you feel like when you talk to people, like a lot of people they don't have like the same relics that they pick. Like they might have, a few, but I think that's one of the things that they did right was that they found a balance within the relics that, basically like people weren't just like doing the same thing because it was the best thing to do. Like people are doing different things because they're all, good in their own way. So I think I applaud them for that at least. So
I think I agree with you. They did a really good job with the balancing, except for like the one thing I just got a dragon pickaxe. What the hell?
Let's go.
Except for like the there was one of them that we discussed where everyone picked one. Which one was it? Or most of us did.
Banker's Note, Fire Sale.
Nah, actually they're all pretty balanced. I guess the only difference is there's a few of them that only like skillers are gonna take, which doesn't apply for us, but it's still really well balanced.
yeah.
It's so balanced, in fact, that we're sitting here chatting about like the decisions that it takes to pick one over the other because it's not just a given, which is insane, and it's such good game design, and they've done an absolutely phenomenal job.
Yeah, and also let's just mention that we're currently on the record for the most player count online. Well, actually, not anymore because people went to bed. But like a few hours ago, someone mentioned 206,000, 206,000, which is freaking crazy. That's higher than COVID numbers. That's wild.
Yeah.
It's completely deserved too.
League hype is real.
Yeah.
So now I have another question for you guys. How low do you think that number is going to get after leagues?
That's an interesting question because you got to have like a sample size of what it was before league.
It was like 170K when like leagues.
No.
Leagues?
Right before leagues, the game was at like 116.
What, that low? Nah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really was.
Damn.
Yeah, it was.
Because I know a
obviously that's
few of
not
my
a bad
friends
spot.
logged in. Like I haven't seen them in a year, and they logged in, and I was like, "Bruh, what are we doing?" And a few of my other friends, they mentioned they mentioned to me yesterday they're going to become league andies, which means they just log in for leagues and then log out until the
Yep.
next leagues.
No, there's plenty of people that I know like that.
Uh,
Yeah,
Also,
you don't see them until the next league.
or like
There's
BMM or something.
There's a lot of with the RS3 controversy recently with their battle pass situation and stuff like that. It brought a lot of it led to a lot of RS3 players coming over to the game too, which is a concern for me.
Wait,
But
can you mention what that was? The battle pass thing, briefly.
yeah. So basically, there was new content in RS3 that came out. They released a battle pass where basically completing this battle pass would earn you more damage. I think it was more damage. It was either more damage or more experience within dungeons. So it was potentially like a 200-hour grind, or you could pay $120 to just buy the whole thing. But they had never locked like the damage increases or best in slot items behind paywalls before. So it really, really pissed off a lot of the RS3 community. So a lot of them started coming over to old school, and I think leagues has kind of like extended a further olive branch to some of those players. And the amount of people that I've run into that have been asking random questions and like Barak or Zaya, just like, oh, what's this? What are you doing over here? It's been really interesting because so many of them have been RS3 players. So have a conversation with them or whatever. But so that has been neat to see if they stick around. Because
Yeah, maybe they'll stick around. Maybe they'll go back to RS3. Maybe they'll make another account after leaks. Who knows? That's cool though. That's good for us RS, but I don't necessarily think that's good for Jagex because it makes their remake game significantly better than their original game, which is doesn't feel right as a company, but they're still making money, so it's fine.
I know the player count has been significantly higher on old school than RS3 for a very long time now.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm assuming it's like significantly different, like way like a bigger gap than before. But cool, that was a good tangent. I do predict a big drop in player base after leagues, and hopefully it's not too bad, but we'll see. So let's move on to tier 8. So tier 8, there's quite a few selections. We have Guardian, which someone mentioned earlier, Executioner, and Undying Retribution. Has anyone got to tier 8 on this call?
Not yet. I'm about 6,000 points away.
Okay, that's pretty close here. Probably the closest one then. But
hopefully tomorrow.
What would you end up picking for tier 8? And why?
I have done a few Toa and Chambers so far, and we don't have a meleeer in our group, and we're lacking quite a bit. For instance, our Chambers was 20 minutes, and Olm was 17 of those, just because the melee hand was really tough for us. So I'm probably going to go Guardian, especially because I think you only really need one Executioner in your group, and one of my other friends is already going that. I feel like having multiple Guardians and one Executioner increases the DPS for your group overall quite significantly.
Yeah, definitely. If everyone went as Executioner, that's just like trolling if you're raiding in groups.
Yeah, I'm going Executioner personally. I don't have it yet. A bit away, but for me, like I have one goal throughout this entire league. So I'm just gonna farm Zuck until I get pet, and then stop playing. I'm assuming by then, or maybe I'll stop playing. I don't know. Maybe I'll continue to go, but that was kind of my intent. Is I really just wanted the Zuck pet for leagues, and yeah, Executioner is nice for that. You just run through the middle, throw the axe at him, and goodbye.
Yeah, the
healers.
enrage phase of Zuck is literally like 20%, so it works perfectly. Yep. You proc the healers and then you instantly one ticket.
Yeah, really I think it'll be fun.
But it's 7 tiles on long range, so you'd have to put it on long range and be in the middle for it to work on Zuck.
Yeah.
So you'd have to coordinate pretty well for that.
I think it'll be fine. We'll see how it goes. I have faith. The other two just feel useless for anything that I want to do. I don't want to summon Mega Thralls.
Well, I feel like the Undying Retribution pairs well with the low HP Relic. It's like a good failsafe. I think for
Absolutely.
me it would be pretty useful because I die a lot. So it's basically like a free revive every 3 minutes.
I was originally planning on going the Undying one, but the 3 minute cooldown is just very long.
Yeah, but I don't think you should die that often. I'd hope
Fair.
not.
You haven't met Ethan.
Stop dying.
I've got a lot of friends who are play the game a lot more casually that are interested in trying Inferno with like the busted relics and leagues, and Undying Retribution for them where they can like hide behind a pillar for 3 minutes in case they like run into a situation that they're not prepared for. Can at least help them dip their toes and like see the content on their screen and not in a YouTube video, which I think is fun and is a nice way to get more casual players into higher end PVM, hopefully in the main game.
That's a good point. I have another friend too that's doing leagues, and he asked me like, "Is it cringe to do Inferno on leagues?" And I was like, "Hell no! Like, it's practice, especially the Zuck fight. It's probably going to be identical in leagues as opposed to unless you're range roll, of course, then maybe not. But it's good practice. I know a few friends that did Inferno last leagues, and they have Inferno capes today on the main game, so it helped them quite a bit. And definitely a good relic for Inferno, that's for sure. Especially if you hide behind the pillar, it's a good shout. Cool. Anyone else?
Big executioner enthusiast, because a lot of people I know, like Ethan was saying, is going Guardian. And I don't know, like just the thought of killing something at 20% health, like seems pretty sick. Like just procking through phases, like I don't know, like you just don't even have to worry about some phases. Like I feel like that just expedites like a lot of KC time too. So
I
Mhm.
buy wardens.
Yeah, I saw the
I mean,
video
and,
of the
like,
guy
you can almost do it in every
Yeah.
Toa room.
Well, every
Other than
raid where
Waka.
bosses have high hit points, like Executioner is going to be cracked because you do like so much damage.
Yeah. I think like I've liked thinking about the idea of Guardian. I think it could be pretty good for like I don't know, some bosses that might not be ideal to do, like for example, Mage Leviathan. Like that just sounds like it's gonna suck. You know, and having a thrall would probably like the mega thrall, whatever, would probably make it better to do long term, but end of the day, I just think that having an axe and just killing something for 20% health is cool as fuck.
I think it's actually really interesting because from the like teaser trailer that they released for the Guardian, it's like, oh, like solar players rejoice, like you can summon a friend was the meme, right? Like the idea that if you're a solo player that this might be appealing for you, right? I actually think it's the reverse because if you're a solo, executioner feels really strong. But if you're in a team of three people like doing chambers, if everyone has executioner, it's like this is all just redundant, right? We just need one person to have it.
That's a good point. Yeah. But I think even if you're solo, like with the thralls, like especially like what you mentioned for melee hand, like it could be useful for certain situations if it's not your main attack style. But,
Absolutely.
This is another one of the tiers where I don't think any of them are gonna be bad, and I think all of them are. It depends on what you want to do with the game. I really don't think there's a wrong choice here. They're all so good.
yeah, they're good in their own ways. All right, cool. I mean, interesting here. They said this damage effect will not work on NPCs that are immune to recoil damage, except for Nex, Hespori, Vorkaf, and Wilderness bosses. Huh. Okay. Cool. So
Imagine
next,
at next, like you have somebody in your group at next, and they just can skip that last phase entirely.
they just stay there and tank it.
They do get all the
You-
MVP points for that too.
Yeah, and then that's free. What the heck?
All right, so I got a
You're in
few
line.
more topics here. So the first one here, Soul Wars nerf. So who was able to do Soul Wars on day one and take advantage of it?
Me.
I was.
Me.
Fuck you guys. I mean, dudes, that's sick.
And it was free.
30 to 73 prayer in one game.
Yeah, I got the
That's-
Oh my
70 per
God.
too.
Insane.
Look, not only was it broken for XP, but playing with like I think it was like 4 or 5 relics at the time, was so much fun.
Dude, it was actually so
Like,
fun. People with
I have
Barrage were
never had that
cracked.
type of fun in Soul Wars before. Like everybody was just like going in, just like murdering each other, and it
Yeah,
was just
everyone
a
was low level
blast.
too. It was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Like I was about to go to bed,
I had a
and I
really
went.
good time doing it. I'm like, and it's good XP.
It was funny seeing like low levels, like 5 tick, like fire blasting the minions, and I just show up and I just smack a 60 on my D long and they're dead. It
Yeah.
was so fun.
The issue
Oh,
is nobody was low level for long because as soon as you did one game,
yeah, you
you
were
could get
gone.
4.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What was it? The prayer XP was insane, like going from 30 to 70 or whatever. But the combat XP was where it was broken. You get 180 points. That is like it was like 5 mil range XP. I'm like,
I don't understand why it was that bugged. Was like the multiplier bugged or?
it was double rolling the multiplier, so it was giving
Oh,
you the
I didn't know
multiple
that.
points, and then it was I guess it was rolling your XP modifier while also modifying the XP that it gave from the shop. So apparently it was double rolling the modifier or something along those lines, but I don't know. I thought it was minor, and they should have just left it alone. Like, what
It's
does it
Well,
really
leagues.
change?
all it does is it allows people to get the late game faster. Like without doing that for prayer, it would have been really hard to get 70 prayer. You would have to kill all of dragons.
Sucked.
But yeah, I think I agree with you. They should have left it as is. It would have been funny to see people do like one day of Soul Wars and then get max combat. Kind of like how people do Nightmare Zone today.
It was cool. I enjoyed it.
All right, so we spoke about this one. All right, so this topic here. So, what do you guys think about the 5x drop rate that we get in this league if you're tier 7, I believe, versus the the 3x drop rates we used to get in other leagues? So it's much easier to grind items.
Have JT start this one.
Well, sick.
Oof.
I don't know what you're. It's tier 8, by the way, for times
That's
5.
tier 8.
But I think it's really good. I think for the most part, it lets people dip their toes into the content and get drops much faster, unless you're me, of course.
It's just a small hiccup.
Yeah, that was a
You'll
small
bounce back.
hiccup. You know, I did 644 Commander Zilliana, so that sucked. Just to get an ACB. So I was rank 2 when I ended. There was a guy at like 703.
Was that 4x drop rate? You went that dry on?
Yeah, that was 4x drop rate. Yeah. So I almost green logged in the main game faster than I green logged in leagues because I finished Sarah at 702 KC in the main game, and it took me 644 in leagues, which I spooned the pet like 80 KC. It was just annoyed me.
That's 3 points though.
True. Spoon. Okay.
Real quick, I apologize. I have to drop. I got times wrong, and I'm 10 minutes late for something.
No worries, dude. Go
So
do your
sorry.
something.
I will talk to you guys later.
Yeah, peace out.
But
Later, brother.
Have a good one.
Finally, no, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
what the heck?
Dude, come on.
I feel like
You might.
I
you
feel
might
like
be
last
speaking
leagues-
for all of us, but wait. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I feel like last leagues the 3 times drop rate took a lot longer to get than even the 5 times is, and I feel like we were at 2 times for quite a while, which at the time was still low but seemed okay because we had the crazy 2-tick weapons, but now we have the 2-tick weapons and an even bigger drop rate. So I think it's going to let people get those big 5-tick items that they want faster and let them do more content.
I agree. It sucks if you're like dry for a Tebow or a Shadow in a league. So the extra multiplier definitely saves time in that regard. So it does make some raids quite OP. Like you literally get guaranteed purples, which is cool.
Addy green logged in 13 raids.
He greenlogged what
Well,
raid?
Toa. Well, like he got all
Jeez.
the items, like all of the combat, like all of the actual drops, like not pet and whatnot, but
How many purples in
Yeah.
13 raids?
uh,
3 rings and 3 masks, and then 1 of everything else.
That's pretty spoon, but that's still kind of cool. That's sick.
Take those.
So wait, that's 11 purples and 13 raids? God damn.
It's pretty good odds.
That's crazy. Alright, the next here I have Relic Balance, but we kind of basically spoke about that through speaking about each one. The next one here I got was, I think JT, you mentioned it, buying quests. You can buy quests in other leagues with points. In this league, however, that was not the case. So, do you guys think buying quests is a good thing or a bad thing?
I fucking love it, dude. Hashtag Team Fuck Quest. It's on my chest.
I feel
I
like
hate coming to a temporary game mode and having to quest for things again. So
I'm in the same boat.
you
I
couldn't
really
buy
don't want to
quests.
quest. Like, it's nice, but like getting the XP from it, cool. But it's just kind of confusing for some of them because it's like some of the quests are done and then the others aren't, and then it's like I don't know. I feel like there should be an option to do it, or like for instance, like if you wanted to do I don't know, waterfall to get like early combat XP, like, but if you unlock Kandarin, then it's done for some reason. So then you can't get that, or you can't get like the XP from some, but I don't know. It's kind of confusing that they completed some but didn't complete others.
I actually got screwed because I was working on Rune Mysteries, and I was about to hand the package and then unlock a new region, and it auto completed the quest, so I never had an air talisman.
Same. I did the same thing.
And I was like, bro, what the hell? And then I had to go kill those stupid like air monsters in Remington to get an air talisman.
Yeah, I just think it was just kind of confusing on this one, but I don't like to the topic of like buying quests. I mean, why not? Like,
Yeah, it'd be cool if there was a way to buy
what's the
quests.
what's the harm in doing that? Like,
Well, I mean, if you don't get the reward, like it's perfectly fair. Like, especially for something like Waterfall, where doing it early on yourself is really worth. Like I did Waterfall,
yeah, like
took me like
you should
15
be
minutes.
able to get rewarded. You should be able
Exactly.
to get rewarded for doing the quest. But if you want to buy it, then yeah, I mean, some type of balance into where you don't get the like XP rewards, for instance, is probably necessary.
Cool. So hopefully
We
in the
buy
next
quests.
next league they let us buy quests so we can skip all the questing.
I love their quests. Don't get me wrong. RuneScape has some of the best questing in any MMO game I've ever played. It is phenomenal. But I don't want to do it in a temporary game mode. It's like Diablo 4. Like no one wants to farm like favor again in every season that they do. Right? It's just annoying. It's tedious. That's my final bit.
All right, that covers all my topics. Do we have anything else to mention or any last minute topics?
Yeah, I know Trevor wanted to touch on it before he had to dip, but as far as like how do you think players are going to burn out? I know we talked about like player count dipping, but we didn't really talk about like usually after leagues, all my friends burn out. So how do you think like the best way that you guys are going to deal with like returning to the main game? I know every single one of us, and that was kind of why I wanted to bring Trevor in, is Trevor has like a different perspective than a lot of us, but we're all maxed Iron Men, so us returning to the game is just back onto the grind set, right? So not much changes for me, but I think it's always something to think about is like, are you guys going to take a break after leagues? Or are you guys just kind of chugging along at your normal pace? Or are you guys going harder than normal kind of situation? I know you're already back on the main game, LGR, but
I mean,
so
I
guess,
just
like,
it does suck not two ticking. Like it was pretty fun two ticking everything with D Long, but I got used to it pretty quick. I don't really like. I knew when I started leagues that I was just playing this until I'm no longer having fun, and then that day hit yesterday, so I stopped playing. But I'm sure people with the mindset of playing leagues till the very end, after 2 months, they're gonna struggle hard to come back to the main game, having regular XP rates. Like hitting a 50 with my scythe and seeing like 200 XP compared to in leagues where I was using a D long and getting like 4,000 XP is a big difference. Like it feels really
oh,
bad.
for sure.
I'm definitely gonna burn. We're at the end of day 5, and I have 3 days of playtime in leagues, which is harder than I usually go. And I just feel like all I have right now is to grind for Shadow that I want to do on my Iron. and I don't really like Toa, so I'm probably gonna take like a month off after leagues.
Which is perfectly fine, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you have other games you're gonna play, or?
Yeah, I've been starting to get more into CS2 again. Well, I say again, used to play CSGO, but I feel like I will always definitely come back to RuneScape. I've quit it before. I'll probably quit it again. It's just very consistent, and I feel like a lot of games you put in time and then things get reset, or I don't know, they didn't really mean something. But I feel like RuneScape, um, those skills you might put in an hour here, an hour there, they go up slowly over time.
Mm-hmm. I haven't really quit RuneScape in the past 4 years, but I've quit before. And usually I just have phases where I feel burnt and I do something giga cringe in game, like killing Gorax or something for like a couple weeks, and that's how I usually unburn.
That's pretty cringe. Yeah.
I warned you.
I was not expecting you to say Gorax. I'm sorry.
Bro, it's crystal keys and hard clues.
Okay.
His clogger is showing.
To each their own, but yeah, to touch, like, for me, I just, anytime there's like something seasonal, I don't even play to the end, because I go in with the expectation that I will probably be able to accomplish like my goals and what I am setting out to do, like before, like weeks before it even ends. So that gives me time to like already readjust back to the main game anyways. And even like what I was doing before in the main game, like I'll, hop in VC and like hang out with JT and them for a little bit and maybe do a few raids. But other than that, I've only done KBD for like the last month and a half. And even that is like pretty cool, because it's allowed me to like play other games, and I haven't like taken a break from RuneScape in a while, and it's been kind of nice. But I intend to play pretty hard over the next few weeks or so. I mean, I'll have like a 2-week break in between, and then if I don't finish, I'll try to at the end. But I mean, it's the same thing like last league. I played for a few weeks, got what I wanted to do, and then didn't have like too much difficulty getting back into it, because just a matter of like balancing it and having like a healthy relationship with the game.
Well said.
Or just play a lot.
That's the Ethan strategy.
No, I
I
think
don't know,
that
because like I've played a lot over time. It's just like I think that there are like phases, like during events, for instance. Like I will play my ass off during an event. Like I don't care what's going on. Like I am trying to put in effort. But like on like a regular, just like routine day, I'm not trying to just spend as many hours anymore, because I mean, personal things, whatever you got going on in your life, take priority. But I just think like the reason that like a lot of people like either burn out in general or like during these game modes is that they're just trying to do too much. And I think that's one of the reasons that like longevity wise, I've just continued to play RuneScape, is because I, one, enjoy playing RuneScape first of all, and two, I just, having a balance is one of the key components to it. So
Yeah, I've never found that, unfortunately.
Did you say I never found that?
Yeah, I haven't really, to be honest. Like, to be frank, I've never found a balance between RuneScape. If a big thing here is we have progress channels for everybody, and it's really easy to see mine. I started my iron like 2.5 years ago, and I've burnt so many times, man. But the times that I am playing, I'm going hard. Like it is sad. Like I'll just have 3 months where I'm playing like 10 hours a day, and I still work. I have a full-time job, and I have 2 kids.
yeah. Yeah, I've seen it. Like since I've known you, I have seen that multiple times. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I don't know how you do
and,
it with kids too. Like I have a full-time
hard.
job too, and I average maybe 7 to 8 hours a day. But 10?
my
rough.
binges get really bad, and for a while I found like a really healthy medium. And I was like playing it maybe 3 hours a day. And obviously, like anybody who says that like that's a healthy medium is kind of absurd, right? Because still 3 hours. That's 21 hours a week. That's a part-time job. But in RuneScape, I feel like it's a different atmosphere. But I'm working on it. I'm working on finding my balance again. And Leagues has not assisted me in that process.
feel that.
Well,
I
I
feel
think
that.
you need to like
Definitely been playing hard.
you need to like change your mindset where if you're working on a grind and you don't find it enjoyable, just stop, take a break,
I can't.
or
That's why I did almost 700 Sarah in a like
you can
31 hour
set a
period of
quota,
time.
which is what Master Barter's tech is, where you basically set yourself like every day I kill 50 Sarah. After my 50 Sarah, I do anything else, and that way you don't burn and you also enjoy it more.
Touche. That's probably a better way to do things.
But if you're having fun with it, dude, playing 10 hours a day, go for it. Who cares? Like, you do you, my guy. It's not, and you have a job too, so you're still being contributive to society.
Oh yeah, I've never been a neat. I don't think I could do it.
I can't either. I just can't do it, dude.
As soon as there's obligation behind me playing RuneScape, I just lose my passion. It just feels like, and I've like, you see it in like the services, right? Like services for RuneScape. Of course, like the Jagex friendly ones that they don't mind, but like let's say boosting services, you see people like 50% of people will touch boosting services and they will just like they're like super hype about it. They put their deposit down. They're like, yeah. All right, my kids. But they like let's say they do XYZ, right? They get really hyped. They last 3 days. They realize that wow, this sounded really cool and I can make a lot of money. But now where's the patch? Like the fun is gone because they're not just doing it to play the game. They're doing it because guess what? I'm doing a job now, and it just I don't know. It just kind of ruins the fun.
Yeah, well, it's same thing with streamers, and like they play the game, they love the game, they have crazy passion, then they start streaming, they go full time, and that's their source of money, and they have no choice to keep streaming, otherwise they can't put a roof on top of their heads. So it changes the mindset. That's why I never intend to go full time, nor do I ever intend to go full neat, just because I'm probably gonna like omega burnout, dude. There's no way I could do it.
Yeah. I know this all too well.
Have you
trying,
gone there?
trying to stream, is just like I enjoy it, but when it starts to like feel like an obligation, like it just really like turns me off to the idea of it because I don't feel like I need to do it. Like I like to do it when I want to, but then like when other people are like, hey, when are you gonna go live? Hey, when are you gonna go live? Like that's when when I'm at home and I just want to like relax and like just chill out and just not really put in that effort, because like when you're going live and you try to do it for like 7-8 hours, I mean it's easy to say like it's not really that much like when you're just playing a game, but like when you're trying to also like entertain people and like make conversation and kind of put yourself like out of your comfort zone a little bit, it is a little bit more difficult. And it's like if you're not like fully committed to doing that, then it doesn't work. Like because I've tried to commit to it before and it is hard. Like
No, streaming is definitely
like
hard.
other things in my life too, because I'm still it's not my full-time job anymore, but I still have like obligations in the military, and they do get in the way, like when I have to go for like a few weeks to do something and whatnot. Like it's like those outside factors are things that you have to consider like when trying to stream too. And then like when you don't feel like you can have a consistent schedule, then it just a lot of wrenches can be thrown into the process, and it does make it a lot harder if it's not the one thing that you do.
And I know like we're omega off topic, but that's why YouTube is just way better. Because you upload whenever you feel like it, and you can schedule upload as well.
Yeah.
It's goated. Like I literally have an episode uploading every Saturday for the rest of the year, and I'm not even capping. Pre-recorded, pre-edited, pre-uploaded.
Smart. Yeah,
It's
I mean,
it's so much nicer.
if you're into the the content creation, take notes from that man.
All right, well, it was a pleasure, boys. It was fun. Good discussions. Very civilized, which is nice. And any final words?
Yeah, thanks, man. It was a good
Yeah,
conversation.
appreciate the opportunity. Pretty cool.
Always love. I really just call it shooting the shit. Really, it's just it's nice to chat about some topics that I know a lot of us have passion for, even though it's a video game. And I think it's we have what I call one of the cringier communities out of all the games I've ever played, but we also have one of the most passionate, and I think those things go hand in hand sometimes.
Definitely
So
that.
it's always nice to
Very
just
well said.
Absolutely.
Definitely that.
I think it's cool too if like in a few years we can rewatch this. Maybe if like Leagues 5 is announced, we can rewatch this and see how we thought about the game back then. So it's a nice way to document it.
oh, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining, boys. And thanks for listening for everyone else. Hope you enjoyed. Peace out. Take care.